Welcome back to another episode of Detail Garage. So if you've been following us, we've already washed this 2008 Bentley Continental, and now we're going to show you how to properly decontaminate it to prepare it for polishing. So as you can see, it has this really deep black finish, but that shows any kind of imperfection, which this car has tons of. It's got scratches, there's swirls obviously, and there's little itty bitty water spots that are etching the paint, and there's one troublesome area where it's actually deteriorated the paint so far that it's actually removed it. But like I said, we're going to start by decontaminating it using our clay block. This is one of the fastest ways to remove any kind of impurities or pollutants that are in the paint to restore a very fine, soft finish. And also this is going to make it easier for us to polish without having to worry about pigtails or creating some kind of micro marring. Because should the pad pick up any kind of contamination or fallout, it's just going to grind it into the paintwork, and that's not going to give you the best results, and in fact, it may actually damage the paint permanently. But we're going to work back and forth in straight lines using our clay luber. And this is gently picking off anything that's stuck in the pores of the paint. And the synthetic material on the clay block absorbs it so that you can gently glide across the surface without creating kind of scratches or marring effect. This is just a small test area that we're doing, and if it works here, we'll use it on the entire vehicle. Now we'll wipe off the excess clay luber. Again, working in straight lines. And already, just from a light clay job, you can feel that it's nice and slick, smooth finish, and now it's ready for polishing. Now, if you decide to clay your car, it's best to do it before you do any kind of polishing steps such as this, if you're going to apply any waxes or anything like that, because it'll bond better, giving you a longer lasting shine, and also you're not locking in any of the contamination that's in the pores of the paint. So with that being said, we're ready to move on to our TORQ 10 effects with an orange pad, and we'll try VSS. That should give us the right amount of cut, and it'll diminish nicely to refine the finish, and then we can really see the magnification of that black paint. Now this is our TORQ 10 effects. It's a dual action polisher with an 8mm throw, which is perfect for this small area that we're working on. And we're also going to be using our polishing pad conditioner with VSS, which is going to diminish nicely to refine that finish. So this is a clean pad. I've actually just cleaned it. And that removed any kind of polish or buildup that was on the surface, so that we're having a completely neutral cut. It's not going to have any variations or any kind of cross-contamination from our other jobs. But now we're going to use some polishing pad conditioner to moisturize the pad. And what this is doing is it's going to keep the pad nice and soft, and it's also going to help the longevity of the pad, but it's also reducing the heat that's built up while polishing. Now we're going to be using some VSS. And now I know you're saying, well, why do you want to reduce the heat? I mean, it is part of polishing to have some friction and some heat, because that's what's breaking down the polish. But in this case, we're going to help reduce it by adding polishing pad conditioner. Now, since we're working a small section, I'm only going to do about 4 dime-sized drops. And we'll blotch it out. And then on the lowest speed setting, we'll spread it out over the entire surface, and then on the highest speed setting, that's what we'll actually be doing our polishing, and we'll work it into the paint until it goes clear. Now, if you've never polished before, there's a few things that you've got to keep in mind. One is to obviously keep the machine as flat as possible. On a dual action, you can stop the pad, or it's called stalling, where basically if you watch these lines, they're not going to be moving. It's because you have an extreme angle which is preventing the pad from spinning, and in that case, you're not doing anything. The machine is actually just vibrating on the paintwork. You're not cutting, you're not polishing, it's basically just a waste of time. Also, while you're polishing, people pull off too quickly, especially with VSS. They say that it didn't break down entirely. They thought it went clear, but with this polish, you actually have to work it until it goes completely translucent. So I'm going to show you about how long it takes. On a small section like this, we'll work it in maybe 4 passes, that's north and south, side to side, and then we'll check our work by buffing it off with a clean microfiber towel. So with further ado, let's get started. In case you're wondering, you can probably see that I've taped off the section that we're going to be polishing. This is one, I'm going to give you guys a before and after comparison between the scratched and swirled side, compared to the polished side. Now also this is going to protect the body lines and the edges of this Bentley because the owner was telling me that it was repainted in some areas. So it's probably going to be thinner on the edges or the corners of the vehicle, and we don't want to pull that off. So the tape is just protecting it, and it also looks more professional if you're doing this as a business. So now you can see that the polish has gone basically translucent or clear, and I'm using a clean microfiber towel to buff it off, but already you can see it's been a huge transformation. That deep black reflective gloss has been restored. It's removed those scratches, those swirls, the little Zorro marks that were all over the paint, and now we can actually see that there's a metallic flake in this, so it's been finished and refined back to that factory look. And now that it's polished, we want to have something on there that's going to protect it. Some people choose to put an actual coating like Carbon Flex C9. You can put a glaze on there, which is an optional step to mask minor imperfections. I'm going to put sealant on this or a wax, maybe we'll do both, but something that's going to protect it against water spots, UV rays, and it's also going to protect this finish to keep it looking cleaner for longer. But in the meantime, you guys can head over to our website, chemicalguys.com, and check these products for yourself. I'll finish polishing this, and we'll catch you guys next time right here.